Hello, public speaking students. Welcome to Unit 2 of the course. Congratulations on completing Unit 1. Everyone did a really nice job participating in class discussion. So great job on that. I normally grade class discussions on Monday or Tuesday of the following week. So you should be getting your grades on that here very shortly. I will be grading your assignment also here in the next couple of days as well. Since it was due last Thursday, I will grade it before Wednesday of this week. We do get some time to grade the papers, but I'm going to try to go ahead and get that to you early this week. So let's talk about what we have going on in Unit 2. I thought I would do a walkthrough video for you and an explanation of this week's assignment to help things go a little more smoothly for you. So please be sure when you come into the course to always take a look at the announcements. Please open them all and read through them. It's really important that you look at these. I would not post them if I didn't think most of them were important. Now, some of them like Fun Friday or Motivation Monday, you don't have to necessarily look at those if it's not something that's your cup of tea. But most of them are most of it is information I think you'll find really helpful. Some of it's information from the university that you definitely need to receive. So make sure you are checking your announcements every day. Let's take a look at what we have going on now in Unit 2. So as you can see, Unit 2 is very full. So you want to go ahead and jump right into it on Monday of Unit 2. Please read through the overview of the week. This just gives you a snapshot of what we have going on. Some of the learning outcomes that are going to be addressed this week are to identify the fundamental elements of the speech process, demonstrate understanding of the ethical standards or effective speakers, to select and narrow a topic with a particular audience or situation in mind, to organize ideas in a purposeful, cohesive sequence which meets audience expectations and needs, to demonstrate accurate, clear, and expressive use of language, nonverbal communication, and voice, and to utilize language strategies for effective oral presentations. So to that end, you will want to make sure that you read the Unit 2 lecture. This is really important. It gives you just at least the basic information that you're going to need to be successful this week. So if nothing else, you have to read that. So this week, in your first discussion, we're going to be talking about speech topic selection as well as audience analysis. So you want to be sure that you are posting this. You need to post your initial posting, and then you need to respond to at least 3 different classmates in order to receive full credit. So make sure that you are doing that. Here's the grading rubric that I'll be using for the discussions. And here's some specific information on the discussion questions. So you want to respond to the initial post, and you need to at least answer these questions here at a minimum, and you can expand that to add additional questions as well. But you need to at least answer the question why you're interested in the topic, what you know about the topic, and what is good and bad about the topic. You will have a second discussion this week, and you're going to be providing the demographic information for an audience analysis. So every speech, excuse me, that we do in this class, and every speech that you do henceforth, you will be conducting an audience analysis. So like any communication, you will not be successful if you don't know to whom you are speaking, right? So if you are speaking on knee replacement surgery and you are speaking to a group of surgeons, right, they would have very different needs than if you were speaking to a group of athletes or a group of senior citizens, right? So all of those different audiences have very different needs, and you would want to tailor your speech for that audience. So to do that, you are going to be posting answers to these demographic questions, and you don't have to reveal too much personal information about yourself if you don't want to. There may be some things you're uncomfortable with, like political affiliation or religious views. Please don't feel obligated to do that. We never want you to feel uncomfortable with what you're sharing in the course. However, the more information you can provide in any kind of demographic analysis of an audience is beneficial. So please be sure that you are responding to this. I prefer to see you provide sentence answers rather than just one word or a couple of word answers. I'd like to see you do a pretty thorough analysis on this. So you need to provide answers to at least 5 of the questions. There is, let's see. Yeah, so the grading, remember, you only have to submit these. You do not have to respond to classmates, I believe, for this discussion. So that is what we have going on there. Now, this is a little different maybe than what you've had in other classes before. You do have a group discussion this week. So the purpose of this assignment is to help you understand how to select and organize material for a speech. So what you're going to do is in your group, you're going to begin to work together on creating an outline for an introduction that you're going to give on Katie. And so here's information about Katie. You have all kinds of information about Katie. And you're going to take this information about Katie and you individually are going to work out an introduction outline for Katie. And then, so here you go. You're going to identify at least 8 of the items in the list. You can organize into 2 categories for Katie, 4 items in each category. You're going to post your results in the discussion for the group. So the categories could be something like Katie's childhood, Katie's education, or Katie's education, Katie's career, or Katie's professional life, Katie's personal life. And then you're going to work together as a group and complete a speech outline format that everybody agrees on. And in the format, you're going to use this with 3 main points and then 2 subpoints for each main point. So that may be a little confusing. It probably is more helpful for you to sit down and just read through the instructions thoroughly. But you do need to make sure that you are posting in this group. So you have to post the initial response, which is your version of the outline. And then the whole group has to post the final outline. And I do need to see you working in the group and discussing the outline itself for you to receive credit for this assignment. So in Unit 2, you're actually going to be delivering the speech that you developed the outline for in Unit 1. Remember, you must have 6 adult audience members. This is a very strict requirement by the university. I will have to give a 0 to anyone that does not have 6 adult audience members. So children do not count, and you cannot also do any kind of FaceTime or something like that. So it needs to be live audience in front of you. Please make sure when you are recording your speech that I can see both you and the audience. Now, I don't have to see the audience the whole time. You can have whoever is recording the audience pan the whole audience, then you begin your speech, and then pan the whole audience after the speech. I can't have any stops and starts in the speech. It has to be one continuous speech where I see the audience, then see you, then see the audience. So I know that they're actually there in front of you. Or you can set up your video in a way that I can see both you and the audience at the same time for the entirety of the speech. I also have to be able to see your front in the speech. So I've had students before place the video recorder behind them and then deliver the speech to the audience in front of them. And that will not work because I actually have to give feedback on your nonverbal communication. So I have to be able to see your face and see your body language. So make sure that the camera is in front of you. And so please carefully read through all of the requirements of this speech. You should have the outline done. I'll provide feedback for you on the outline, as I said early in this week, so you can use that to create your speech, which is due on Sunday. So all of the assignments are always due on Sunday in this course. That's not true. All of the assignments this week, I believe, are. Okay, so now you're going to go ahead and begin working on the Unit 2, the speech assignment you're going to be delivering in next week, I believe, in Unit 3, and that is the informative speech. So this week you're going to need to carefully read through all of the details of that speech, and what you're going to be doing is considering what topic you're going to want to use for your speech, and that is what we're going to be discussing in one of our discussions this week. You have a homework assignment this week, and this week we are going to be conducting research for the informative speech. So early in the week, you will need to determine your topic so that you can begin conducting research for the speech and have that done by Sunday night. So here is a look at the sample. You're going to be using this speech research form. You can see that here. So you want to download this and open this and begin filling that in. You can see all of these blank spaces. You have to fill in all of the blank spaces. So here is an example of that. You can see where the student has identified the speech topic and filled in all of the information about the topic. The student has the article title, the author, the periodical, volume, page number, date, database use, date that it was retrieved, what kind of material it is. This always confuses students. The material isn't the content, and it isn't it's the type of material. So it would either be examples, statistics, facts, brief narrative. So you need to identify actually what kind of source it is. And then you need to you need to include what kind of information you're going to be using from the source. And so you need to do that for 5 different sources. The sources, I believe, let me double check the assignments. You need to use 3 different types of supporting materials. And so those can be, like I said, examples, definitions, testimony, statistics, narratives, all of these different, you have to use 3 different kinds. So you've got 5 different sources, 3 different supporting materials, and you want to make sure that you include all of the information in the form. Now, if you use a type of information and it doesn't have some of this information, so let's say it's a book and so it wouldn't have a volume number, you need to put NA here in this field so I know that you have acknowledged that this is a requirement, but it's not applicable for that source, right? So go ahead and don't leave it blank because I will deduct points if it is blank. So go ahead and at least put in NA. Okay, so that is due, and you can look at the example in the announcements. And then you have a quiz this week, and that is on this week's reading. So you want to make sure that you do that. Now, I would recommend that you do the quiz toward the end of the week once you've had time to really work with the material and post your class discussions and you become more familiar with the material. It is open book. There is no time limit, and you have multiple attempts. So please continue to keep doing the quiz until you get a grade that you are satisfied with. So I will take a look here at a recap again of what's going on in Unit 2. Read the introduction, read the lecture, answer the discussion on selecting a topic for your informative speech, answer the discussion on audience analysis and providing demographic information, participate in the group exercise. You'll be recording and delivering your self-concept speech. In Unit 2, you are going to begin working also on your speech for, let's see, Unit, is this right? Unit 2. Yes, in Unit 4 is when you will be delivering your informative speech. But you're going to begin working on that here in Unit 2. And so you're going to begin identifying your topic, and then you're going to be completing research for that topic. And then you are going to be completing the Unit 2 quiz. So it's really quite a lot we have going on in Unit 2. So go ahead and just jump right in and get started. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.